right. Kelly, nice to meet you finally. My name is Angela, everyone. I'm a co-founder of the Hummingbird Business Network. Today, we're going to be meeting one of our newest members, and I am excited because she's not only a new member, but she's going to be hosting a workshop. I'm going to go ahead and turn it over to Kelly to introduce herself, and then we're going to get right into the interview. Kelly.
Hi, so I'm Kelly Leightner. I'm not sure what everybody wants to know about me, but let's see. I'm a mom of two boys who are just recently turned 23 and 24. I was a crazy mom who had two kids in the same calendar year. So I have one born on January 1st and December 29th. Don't recommend that. Not easy the first few years of their lives. But as they got
Mhm.
older, they struggled and fought a lot. But now that they're adults, they're really good friends. I've been married for going on 26 years this year. Originally from the St. Louis area and have been in Arizona now for about 25 years. So almost a native, I guess. I've been here almost as long as I was back in Missouri, where I'm originally from. Dog mom, we've got four dogs and a cat. I like to volunteer with Arizona Animal Welfare League. So two of our dogs are from there. Um, there's lots of things about me, but I'm drawing a blank and what would be most important to share with everybody right now.
Okay. So what I want to do is I'm going to just actually help along the process around people getting to know you a little bit. And we're going to start off with just a few rapid fire questions. It's just like either that or this. And then we'll finish off with 5 questions to introduce what you do and how you will be sharing with our audience on your workshop, which will be February 26th at 6:30 p.m. And I'll talk more about that at the end. But let's start, Kelly. Okay. So just whatever comes to mind, just answers. So here are question number 1. Do you prefer tea or coffee?
Preference is coffee, but I'm avoiding caffeine. So if I drink one, it's going to be tea right now.
Okay, excellent. Would you describe yourself as an early bird or night owl?
Early bird, always have
Oh,
been.
I'm with you, Kelly. 100%. Okay. Do you prefer a beach or a mountain walk?
Beach.
Okay, tell me a little bit more about the beach.
The beach. I love the ocean. I love the sound of the waves. I love just sitting there and closing my eyes and just meditating to the sound of the waves. I
Um,
like the sand under my feet. I like a sandy beach. Let's go there because you go up to the Pacific Northwest. Not so. I'm not sure I'd be so crazy about their beach. The sound would be great, but
yes.
colder in the rocks and not so much fun in my mind.
I love it. I'm with you. I'm actually in Tampa now, and so they're near Clearwater. So the beaches have white sand. So I'm with you, Kelly. Okay. All right. 4 more. A book or a movie?
Usually the books are so much better.
I agree. Okay. City or countryside?
Hmm. So I grew up kind of in the country, um, but they've got benefits to both. But just for general health and options, the city.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. Yoga or running?
Yoga. If I'm running, you better start running because it means something's chasing me.
Yeah, I'm with you. And this one I kind of already know because you said it in the beginning, but a dog or a cat?
I love both. Growing up, I was a cat person over a dog person because my husband's more of a dog person. I would say I've probably adapted more to dogs, but
Okay.
we do have both. I do have a cat. I didn't mention the cat. I said the four dogs.
Oh, okay. All right. Excellent. That's the end of our rapid fire questions. Those are just to kind of get to know you a little bit as a person, right? So we have 5 questions that are about your business and who you are as an entrepreneur. And the first question is, can you share a bit about yourself and what inspired you to start your own business?
Wanting to start my own business had to do with I got tired of so I used to like to jokingly say I'm a recovering nurse, but then I've met people who are in recovery, and that's kind of disrespectful for them. So I've pulled back on using that term as much. But um, I was a nurse, and the last position I was in, I worked 4 days a week at minimum, and I was missing everything with my sons playing baseball. And I
Mhm.
got tired of having to work at that department. I had to work every other weekend and a good portion of the holidays. I just got tired of my time not being my own. And so I wanted to do something that would get me out of that environment so that I would be able to go, oh, my son's got a game. You know what? I'm not going to work these hours today because I'm going to make sure I'm there for his game. Didn't happen while they were still in school, unfortunately. But so the time freedom and the flexibility and not having somebody tell me how I have to do things.
I agree with you 100%. I think a lot of the ladies will agree with you is around time. Bottom line, the most important commodity that anyone has is time. So I'm 100% with you. All right. In your opinion, Kelly, what's more valuable for an entrepreneur, mentorship or partnerships, and why?
Ooh, now that's an amazing question that I've never even thought about. I want to say they're both just as important. You need mentors to help guide you and give you insight and pull things from you that you may not have known were there, and the partners to walk alongside you and help support you in those. I would say they're equal.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree as well with that. That one came from like wondering myself, like what is it that really kind of catapulted me, to the next level? And it's like you can't choose, right, Kelly? Because we're both equally, you need the mentorship, but you also need the partnership. So yeah, I'm with you. Okay. So what pivots did you make before finding the right business idea?
Ooh, a bunch. Well, as I said, I was a nurse. I tried several different multi-level marketing companies. Um, Always had the same problem. And then when I was introduced to bank, the first time I ever sat through a training, I went, this is why I suck at what I'm doing. This is why nobody wants to do what I'm doing. And so then I originally started to learn bank so that I would be better in sales and help train up team that either I brought in or part of the team I was part of. And then the deeper I got into it, the more I'm like, no, this is what I want to be doing now. So yeah, there's been a lot of pivots in my life.
I love it. And that actually leads right into our next question, which is what services do you offer and how do you hope that those services will benefit others?
Awesome. So since we didn't quite talk about what bank actually is at this point, it is a personality derived way of communicating with people. Each of the four personality types has 12 values. And if you know what the person's primary values are, you can jump right in at that point and make sure you're meeting their needs. And knowing the ones that are least important to them are the ones that are likely to turn them off is just as important to know as well, because you want to make sure you don't. I had a whole bunch of examples flood my head. That's why I paused. I apologize. Um, you don't want to hit those tripwires, is what we call a tripwire, because then it kind of blows up your entire sale. And people have had this happen. In my case is a perfect example. The direct sales company where I learned about this from, I used to talk about the research and science behind what we had, because for me as a nurse and with the extended education I had in toxicology, because I was at poison control at that point, that was all hugely, hugely important to me. And I'm like, it should be important to everybody.
Yeah,
It's not. And the most of the people I was talking to, it was probably last on their list. And now
yeah,
that I know that, I could do much better by avoiding that part of it and focus on what would be most important for that person.
I
Uh,
love it. Yeah,
so
go
we
ahead.
do trainings. We have also a 12-week coaching program where we deep dive into all of this and can help people learn it and execute that in their lives. And not only does it help in sales, but it also helps in personal relationship. When it was originally created, the woman who created it designed it for sales. But she had people come back to her and go, this saved my marriage. She's like, what? Tell me more. This made me a better parent. My child that I've been struggling with, I now understand, and now I can navigate that so much easier. And now we have less stress.
I love it. And would you mind like just going over the acronym for us, just so those who may not know what bank is,
Absolutely.
we know what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. So, bank, like you said, it's an acronym for the four personality types. So, you've got the blueprint personality, the action, the nurturing, and the knowledge. And in the workshop, we'll be talking about what is important for each of those and things that will turn each of those off. If I'm assuming in the recording as this comes up, you'll see next to my name, I've got the BKNA. That is my personal code. So I'm a blueprint, knowledge, nurturing, action. So if you want to get my attention, and I didn't realize this actually worked so well until after I'd already learned bank, you want to talk about systems and structure for me and step by step. When I read that in any sales thing that gets sent to me, I'm like, you got my attention. What? Because I always want to know the how. But if you go into uh, celebrities, if you have a commercial with a celebrity, I'm likely to completely ignore it. That means nothing to me. But yet, an action personality, that can be huge for them and it'd be an attraction for them. And
Mm-hmm.
kind of is also a quick thing. The blueprint and the action are opposite personality types. Not everybody will have their opposite as their last code, but for me, it is. And if you hit that action a little too much, I'll be gone because
Yeah,
it can be a big turnoff for my personality, if that makes sense.
it totally makes sense.
Okay.
So I'm excited because I feel like one of the things that we as I just have to just say as a woman entrepreneur, I feel like the big stumbling block for me is actually wanting to pitch the sell. Like, it feels like it's a unauthentic. It feels like I'm trying to give them something that's not, what they need. But it sounds like with this, the bank method, that you're able to tune in to what they actually need and be able to deliver, communicate basically what the value is, whatever the service, whatever the product is. Is that about right, Kelly? Because
Yeah,
I that's my like, yeah.
absolutely. You can kind of get to the heart of the matter. Or, and even more fun, if you're in a business where you're working with husbands and wives or partners a lot, you're going to find many times we tend to marry our opposites. My husband and I are opposite codes. So this has helped. It has reduced some of our arguments, not all of them. We still, because I'm very headstrong, and he tends to be a little more on the giving side, and he'll hit frustration, and then a fight can ensue. Um, but those business people working with husband and wife teams, what's important to one spouse isn't always important to the other one. And if you
Yeah.
can meet both of their needs equally, make them both feel important in the sale, because many times we connect with that one person over the other one. And then the other one kind of feels a little left out. And that's just because we naturally speak more that same language, is what we call the bank code languages, um, of that person. And so they're connecting, and the other person may get frustrated and go, that's not the person I want to work with. They just don't get it. They don't get me.
I see. And I love that you mentioned that because I think there are a lot of people that are in business with their spouse or their significant other. And you're right, like there's the probability of you having someone who's your opposite is pretty high. So being able to have that bank as a way to decode what they're saying or what they value or what's important to them in making decisions is like gold. So I am like super, super excited. And I want to just like ask you if you had to think about like what's next, like as far as that, whether you want to talk about the bank method or as far as like because I know you mentioned something about like having a way to run different things that you're writing through a AI. I just want to know more about that if you wouldn't mind sharing.
So, yeah, with learning those codes, we do have some technology tools that can help with prospecting or even just creating emails and things. You sent me a flyer for my workshop, and I ran it through our artificial intelligence, and it was really high on the knowledge side and a lot lower on some of the others. So I did something to work it to rebalance it so that it would speak more evenly to all four codes. Um, so our artificial intelligence, we're in the process of a migration to a higher level of what we've been working with. It didn't used to create for us. We had to create it ourselves, but it would crack the code of what it was. And now it's partnering with, I'm not sure if it's officially Chat GPT because we are calling it Chat CBT, which is Codebreaker Technologies. And
Mhm.
they're also calling it Kai. So knowledge, the K, artificial intelligence.
Mhm.
And it will then write things for you in the code that you want it in. If you say, hey, create this email for, you know, like my target personality type that I write for a lot of the times when I'm trying to create things is the nurturing action blueprint knowledge. So I
Mhm.
can tell it, write it in that code for me. and then kind of tweak and go from there. Because of course, AI doesn't usually sound like us most of the time, so you still have to do some minor tweaks to it to make it sound like yourself. Um, so we have the artificial intelligence, we have the online, crack your code so you can find out the code of the person that you're working with, and it sends them a personality report, and it sends you the sales report of how to work with that personality type. We also have this lovely little tool if you're somebody who does a lot of work with LinkedIn, that there is a Chrome extension that will crack the code of the LinkedIn profile. So that can be really cool if you're looking for people and you want to know if that's somebody you want to work with. You just crack that code and it'll tell you what their code is, with the caveat of that being that if they didn't write it themselves, it may not be accurate for them. And sometimes we write in a different code than our personality type. As I said, I'm the BKNA, but I write in nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
Most of my stuff comes out really high nurturing, and then I have to go back and still rebalance. And I'm assuming that's school that taught me that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love this. I'm so excited, Kelly. And so I just want to invite you to kind of like give us a final, like if you had like a quick pitch to why they should come. Again, this is a workshop that Kelly's hosting at the studios. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the address just in case you're just listening to this on a podcast. Or watching us. So it's going to be Kelly's presenting on Monday, February 26th. And it will be 6:30 p.m. to 7:30. And the location is the studios at Mesa Center, 59 East First Street in Mesa. It is hybrid. We're going to go ahead and have it on Zoom as well. The link will be in the registration, which you can find on Meetup or our Facebook group, which is the Hummingbird Business Network. But Kelly, what would be your final like ask for people to engage with this, have an open mind? Like what are some things that they should do to prepare and why should they attend?
So if you're going to be there, I would love to have you crack your code ahead of time so you can have your personality report. And you just would go to crackmycode.com/Kelly. Um, it takes you 30 seconds or less. It is a really fast assessment, unlike a lot of others out there. And that is one of the benefits of this too. So you can find out what somebody's code is in 90 seconds or less most of the time. Or thinkers take a little longer. Um, and it'll send you your personality report and then have read that and see how well it fits you. Make sure it fits. And learning this will, help you be able to get to the point faster. You can, if you're in sales, close sales more quickly. And the company tagline used to be so you can take it to the bank.
I love it. Well, thank you, Kelly, for joining us. And I hope that we see a lot of you ladies at this event. It'll be amazing. Just because it's recorded doesn't mean don't show up. I feel like there's such value in being in person, to meet Kelly in person and just to get to know her as well as the rest of us. So thank you again, Kelly. And yeah, and we'll sign off for now.